Okay, we need to introduce this concept of PEMDAS before we go on. And the reason is when you do math, you use PEMDAS. You can even tell from, depending on how old you are, that this is kind of the way you kind of learn math. And you'll, like this, you start with addition, then you'll probably move to subtraction, and then when you get older you deal with multiplication and division. Then after that you get into exponents and maybe some parentheses. Sometimes in lower level maths you have the parentheses down in this area, but it's not like the complicated stuff you'll see in the future. So just a review from the last video, but parentheses are just, it's just not only parentheses, it's any like symbols that set a piece of a math equation or problem apart. So if we have like 1 plus 1 times 2, you know, there's a way we're going to do this problem based on order of operations, but let's just say that the person or the problem calls for, let's do this first. That's when you would use parentheses, when you have to do this section first. So in this instance, we would ignore our order of operations. Well, actually, we would still follow the order of operations, and we would just do 1 plus 1 first. Exponents are the little numbers that are set above our base numbers. Okay, so let's say we have like 2 squared. Here we would have our exponent, and here's our base number, and we would obviously do, we would do the square here. This would be 4. Okay, so then we have multiplication and division. Now there's a rule that I have not seen a lot of people either teach, or it's oddly, strangely, people don't know this, that these are actually together. They're together, right? So although PEMDAS goes in this order, these are together. So let's just say, for instance, we have like 2 divided by 2 times, well, let's just keep it consistent too, that we're not going to do the multiplication first. Okay, we're going to do the division first, because when you have only multiplication division, you go from left to right. And when I was teaching my classes, I would go and I'd draw actually a little arrow left to right, you know. So we'd actually do 2 divided by 2, which is 1, and then 1 times 2, the answer here would be 2. Whereas if you didn't follow the order and you said, okay, I got to do multiplication first, you'd end up with 4 here, right? And then you'd have 2 divided by 2, which would give you an incorrect answer of a half. Now, addition and subtraction, same deal. They're together. So if you had like 1 minus 1 times 5, you know, you would not, I'm sorry, 1 minus 1 plus 5, you would not do the addition first, right? So what we do here is we do the subtraction first, because it's left to right. So we do 1 minus 1, that's 0, 0 plus 5, 5. But, you know, if we did the incorrect way and we actually did the addition first, what would we end up here? We'd end up with 1 minus 6, and then 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So you'd see here we'd get another answer. And understanding this rule here, multiplication, division together is done left to right, is a source of a lot of problems when young people, adult people, when we do math at a higher level, because we see these large equations sometimes and we just like, oh, okay, what did my teacher say? PEMDAS. Let's just go ahead and do multiplication first. That's incorrect. You have to do it from left to right.